and welcome to the Farmer Gregg Show. And if I sound a little gruffy, it's because I have been under the weather here the last few days. But this is New Year's Eve night, and this is my special farm Farmer Gregg Show gaming review. For the past 2 years, we've been playing FS22. I have, and everybody else has got it has. And we're at a point now where there's some talk of maybe another game. I know there's a kids version coming out. I've heard tell of that, but I haven't heard anything about a new regular FS coming out. If it is, it would probably be either FS24 or FS25. But excuse me, there are some things that I would like to see in the next one, and I hear fireworks going off all around me. People are already shooting them. So if you hear a bang in the background, that's what it is. Anyway, the first thing I'd like to see would be more crops to plant and harvest, which we got on console. And see, I'm on console. I don't have all the crops that they have on PC. The game, well, first and foremost, we do need more crops. There's no doubt about that. We could always stand to have more crops. But after that, the first thing that needs to happen is we need to have some kind of not role play, but story mode deal where, and you have to come into this menu, and instead of it saying, let me just show you. I'll go to a blank save here. Instead of it saying easy, medium, and hard, or new farmer, farm manager, scratch, it says farm hand, maybe farm manager, and then on the far right would be, instead of farm manager would combine hard and medium, because the two of them are pretty close. And then this one on the far right would say, over here would say forestry slash factories or productions. In other words, you would have to start that way. And what I mean by that is, instead of every time you go into a map, there's certain ones you buy, sell points you can buy or whatever. If you start on which would be a farmhand, you're going to start out as a farmhand helping a farmer on a farm. You can't, and you would have to stay on there so many hours game time before, or make a certain amount of money in the game to move up to, after, let's say, one season, let's say it that way, and or to a certain amount of money you make, and then you get the option to either stay on and make a little more money or start your own farm. And once you start your own farm, then you can hire a farmhand. Now, what is a farmhand? It's different from AI. It would be AI, but it's somebody you take and you train how to farm the way you want to farm. It's not just hiring a worker on the spare of the moment. This person would be what you're starting out as. That's what we would be doing. If we choose hired hand, we would be somebody that a farmer takes in. He tells you what to do, you go and do it, and he tells you how to do it. He'll take you out in the field, give you tutorial instructions how to do it. Now, I don't know, once we were able to get a hired hand, whether we would need to do, they would just need to follow us, and we'd have to have a way to tutor them, to train them, and once they get the feel of how you would want it to be farmed, then that's what they would do. And you wouldn't have to hire a worker. You could have up to, say, as many as 5, depending on how big your farm is, as up to as many as big as 5 hired hands that are on salary there. It would be kind of like on the multi-server, you have and on the multi-server, you would do it this way. If you go through the hired hand, once you start it as a hired hand, and you got all your saves on either on the farming side or the production slash forestry side, depending on which you choose there from the beginning, which, yeah, you if you're on the farming side, there won't be any places to buy to make, like, you can put maybe a greenhouse down and earn some money, solar panels, stuff like that maybe, but that's it. But as far as producing stuff beyond the field, even with the crop that you grow, nah. That is, I'm a retired farmer. I've told y'all that before. You know that if you've watched my channel. And once that crop leaves the field and that farmer you make the money, they don't care where it happens to it, as long as they get the money, get some money for it, or get what. And that's another part of this game that needs to be better. The next part is on consoles, they need to have it where instead of they're having all this, and I know that the makers of the game are overseas, but for American farmers, and I know they got a mod on PC, we don't have nothing like it on console. On console, they need to add a mod or add it into in-game to where you can, where you have the settings to change everything from meters and metric tons to bushels and pounds and standard tons. It just would make things a whole lot easier. Anyway, because, these combines, the way they are, I mean, you need to really know what kind of bushels they hold, but unless you got on PC and got that mod right now, you don't have that. Anywho, we need that to be added to all platforms. The game, but it's going back to what I was talking about, the different, in other words, you have farming on this, straight farming on this side. You could still do forestry in the forestry. You would be like a tree farmer, meaning you'd own a tree plantation or a tree farm. You would plant the trees, harvest them, and have to replant them. And you would straight sell them. Everything would be, at the peak, it would be straight sold. It won't be, you know what I'm saying? You'll have a silo to hold the crops and stuff in. You might could lay some trees on, leave them on a trailer or something until the peak time to sell them at the sawmill, whatever. But there's no buying a factory and saying, okay, we're gonna make furniture. No, there won't be none of that on the farming side. And instead of, you know how in the menu needs to be updated, the in-game menu needs to be updated. And instead of where it says contracts for like field jobs, that needs to be just that, field jobs. And the contracts need to be like, okay, Farmer John over here, he needs all 4 of them fields, his fields worked from start of the season to the end. He wants corn put in all of them, and you can use his equipment for a lower price, or you can use your own for the higher price and harvest it, do everything. Or let's say Sell Point C over here has 6 fields, they want cotton put in all of them, and they'll pay however much, and you'll get that at the end of when the contract is filled. See, they need to add that dimension to this game, which is not there. That's a contract. That's not a contract. That's not going out and disking a field. That's not a contract. That's a job. That's just a simple field job. And so that's where you start off the story mode or whatever with a story, and you start off as a hired hand, and you work your way up till you get enough money you can buy a farm, and you might even get an option. Might would give you an option to buy the farm you're working on from at a good price if since it's already set up. Take it over, and he'll retire. And you might could even make him a part-time hired hand, farm hand, if you need an extra one. because you work for them or him, and he will be, since you helped him make his money and retire, he'll help you. It'll be like a part, not all the time, but some, when you need an extra one or something, But then if you choose to do the productions, you'll still have fields, but what you'll have there, you won't be harvesting the fields. You'll be start off at one little factory and have to go and get, let's say you're going to make flour, you start at a grain mill or grain factory. You go get the flour, you'll see tractors, or not tractors, but trucks coming out of the fields with loads of wheat and rye, whatever you can make flour out of. And they bring it into a grain mill to sell it. Basically, the farmer's doing that. You're a hired hand. You start out working, helping somebody run, or running your own little, whichever you want to do over there. And eventually, you get enough money there that you have your own operation, or take that one over. It's kind of the same deal as the farming, except that's not farming. It's separated, and the two worlds wouldn't collide. No. You could have saves on both if you wanted, but the game will be divided up for those people that want to farm and don't want to deal with having sell points that you can buy and only take so much crop to, and then all of a sudden it decides it's not going to take anymore because it's a factory that you could buy, and you got to turn it on and make that in order to be able to put more crop to it. You just have sell points, and so, excuse me. That's and another thing is that with the livestock animals, the prices, they need to, they're really lacking on this game. I'm not gonna lie. This FS22, excuse me, they let the animals go so you could do the productions. That's what they did. I don't know if nobody knew that. If you didn't already know it, that's what they did. That's what Giants did. We don't want you taking time to do what you need to do, is cleaning up behind your animals. We want you spending time making money in a factory. No, that ain't the way a farm works. A farm, the only kind of factory you might have at a farm is on a dairy farm, where you have milk there and the cows are being milked. I would like to see, you have to take the dairy cows into a chamber, and you either start out going there manually, and if they have the ability to do that, hand milking them. Lord knows my granddaddy did that for years. Anyway, and then eventually moving up to some more modern, electric, fast, automated pumps, and you have to put the milk in there at a certain time. Comes up on the screen, say, okay, it's time to milk cows in pasture A or whatever, something like that. Bring them in, and you have to go out there and do what you would do in real life. Bring them in, route them, run them in somehow or another, close them in, go out. I guess you would go and pick them up in a trailer, bring them into the milking parlor. And with the animals, instead of just having a young whole pig there, or a young whole cow, or a young whole sheep, you need to have little ones. The distinction of having actually a little piglet, a little excuse me, a little sheep or whatever, a little lamb or whatever, and maybe have some goats. We have chickens. I don't know. Around here, some people have turkeys. I don't know, like chicken houses, but they're turkey houses in my neck of the woods. But just add. Here's another something. Talking about the wildlife on here, the deer, the birds, have a way we can, especially the deer, at the right time in the season, hunt them deer down in a certain spot, go get them, and have a packing plant for the meat. Same packing plant you would take the pork, the I say plant, and you would sell it. That's all you do is sell it. They would take the meat, buy it from you, depending on how much you have and how good quality it is, how fresh it is. You know, that's where you would, not necessarily the livestock market. It would be top hogs don't, here again, with livestock, have a sale every so often down there. Say, you can bring your hogs in and we'll have an auction and actually auction them off, whatever animal you got, if depending on, have a sale for each one of them. Do it. This is all on the farming side, you see. And then, have stuff on the factory side. People that don't want to farm but they want to do the factory, making the money, they could do that. You can't, like I said, you can't cross the two up. It would have to be two separate, you know what I'm saying? Even when you, as a multiplayer, here's the thing about the multiplayer that I would like. The next game that when we go to multiplayer, we have the choice of, say, in multiplayer or I can't even think of the word now. Server. The ability to set it up like it's a multiplayer server, but we can set it up so it's like a dedicated, and you can cross play, and it don't cost you nothing because you bought the game. It's covered. In other words, you can set it up like a dedicated. You have that ability. Would have that ability that there, and I mean it's. I mean, like we got that Silver Run map. That's a good logging map, but the boat sail on there and the roller coaster. Nah. I mean the roller coaster part of it. Nah. What's that have to do with farming? This game, that's where they need to improve it. It's and I hope as we head into 2024, they're going to start working. Like I said, I know they're working on a kids version. I saw rumors of that, or not rumors. I've heard, not rumors, but heard people on YouTube talking about it, seen things about it. So I know that's in the making, in the works. And so that's we need improvements on this game. I mean, it's just simple as that. So the game and those are just some of the things I would like to see. It's more farming and less of this factory. Yeah, there's money to be made, but you have to realize on a farm, you're going to have good years and you're going to have bad years. The first couple of years, getting it set up and everything, going to be rough. You got to start off small and work your way up. The old saying, you have to crawl before you can walk, never more true than on a farm. I mean, I know what I'm talking about. I've been on a farm. I hope this video has been, if you are listening to it and seeing it, I hope I'm not trying to cut down giants. I'm just trying to, hopefully they'll hear this, see this and hear it and say, okay, this is some things we need to look at. Because I'm on console, and I'm on PS4 right now, but I'm eventually going to get to PS5, the next gen, but I haven't got there yet, but I will. I'm just not in no hurry. I will, when the timing's right, I will make that move, but until then, I'm going to be right here. But let me get off my soapbox, I guess. Yeah, this is Farm King saying, until next time, until next year, really, I'll see y'all in 2024. Have a good and safe New Year's, and I will see you then. This is Farm King. See ya.